Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the COASTER-net Dispatch. We've got an interesting topic here. We've seen a lot of rumors swirling. Now, a lot of people were expecting with the closure of Kingda Ka that on August 28th of the year 2025 that we would have an announcement for a new ride replacing Kingda Ka. As we all know, we do not have said announcement. We still have a bunch of rumors. Um,
They did an announcement. What are you talking about? They said that it's delayed.
Oh yes, it's delayed, and there's obvious political reasons for the delay. Maybe tariffs or cost, or they're just not ready. Maybe they had a plan and they're like, maybe this isn't what we want to do. Maybe it just costs too much. I don't really know, but there's a lot of rumors that. Well, first we all thought we would have something by August 28th, that we would know what's coming back because the loss of King Ka at Six Flags Great Adventure has been pretty big, right? It's been pretty devastating. Like not just from an emotional point of view, but from a financial point of view. I've heard nothing but bad things about Great Adventure and their attendance this year. I don't know how true that is. You're more of a boots on the ground type of guy.
Yeah, they're not having the best season. I mean, we'll see if that picks up during Haunt. They're still busy on the weekends, but they have not been having a good season. Um, Now, we were trying to wait until we had like a teaser campaign or just anything to go on before we talked about this.
And we
Um,
figured out we're not getting that. So
yeah, we're not getting that based on what we've heard for a while, and we'll get into that. But there was just an ACE event at Six Flags Great Adventure where they got construction site tours. Um, we've also been able to see drone flyovers. Colin from Hollywood Studios, if you haven't seen it already, I'm sure you have if you're watching us, but if you haven't, you should go over to his channel and check it out. He was given permission to fly his drone over the construction site, and it does give us a pretty good view of what's going on so far. And it might not really show what the whole thing is, but it does kind of look like what we were expecting, and that is a shuttle coaster of some sort. Um, so at the ACE event, they did not really give out all that much info, but they did drop a few nuggets. They did say that the plot is going to be larger than Kingda Ka's plot, which makes sense. They said the track length is longer than Kingda Ka's, which was surprising for me to hear because as a shuttle coaster, you don't have a return run. So, that extra length has got to come out somewhere.
yeah,
Um, and 50% of the footers are complete. So you could see like where they're planning, and it kind of doesn't look like they're going outside of that area. Now, I did supply a map to you, Andy, and I drew a
yeah,
line on it pretty rudimentarily. This is based on the pictures that I've seen where I've seen the construction wall set up. So if you think it's not quite in the right spot, maybe you're right. You can tell us down in the comments, but I just kind of did my best. I drew a little square where I thought the station would go, a little rectangle where I thought the maintenance shed would go, and then, a nice teal track out along next to the parking lot. Now, the interesting thing about this, where all the footers are, is that none of them are within the King Ka plot at all, which kind of like was surprising to me that this is not a coaster that's going to go into that area at all. Um, so I did like an estimate of like what the footprint of that area is like, and it came out to about 1,550 feet in length. Now, just to put that in perspective, King Ka's footprint, if I just measured the length of the plot, not like where the track is itself, is 1,260. So if you add 1,260 plus 1,260 plus 456, you get 290, 2,976, and then you add the 129-foot airtime hill, and it comes out to 3,105 feet, and King Ka's total track length is 3,118 feet. And I know that's a lot of math and a lot of numbers, but just
yeah.
kind of
You lost
showing,
me.
yeah, just kind of showing you that like the heights of those hills and the transition up to the tower really didn't add that much
Yeah,
to the track length. So like if you're thinking like, oh, the curve of the track is going to add like 100 feet, it's not. It's going to add like 20 or 50 feet, something
yeah.
like that.
Because it's
Um,
still, because if you imagine a curve, if you drew a straight line between the curve,
Yeah.
you're just really adding whatever the outlier is. I
Yeah,
don't know. I don't do
and
math
this
or
yeah,
geometry.
and the same thing for that, you know, the superior hill, on the return side. But anyway,
So being a shuttle coaster,
being a shuttle coaster, yeah, at 1550, getting to over, let's say, 3,119 feet or more, that's a difficult task right there. I mean, unless it's not a shuttle coaster, but then they're just making a, but maybe a bigger Kingda Ka. Like that doesn't make sense either. So,
well,
so
I'm
if you
just
look,
going in my book of things,
yeah,
and the only thing I can think of is it going to be something like a because the prevailing theory is that it's going to be a spinning coaster too, right?
sure. So the Mac Tower coaster, which is an extreme spinner, was shown in a Kings Island pass holder like survey, and basically that's what everybody thinks it is. And if you look at the plot, being that where the the footers spread out where a hill might be and where a tower might be, where it kind of makes sense that it's a shuttle coaster and that might be it. Um, it does have some interesting aspects to it. Like we've never had a spinner that big. It has an upside down launch on the stall. Like that all sounds pretty cool. Um, so I'm trying to like temper expectations and not be like upset that it's not a good enough replacement because I'm sure it'll be fun if that's what it ends up being. But it also
But it was
curves.
also supposed to be super tall too, right? Like it's not
Yeah,
just
it was supposed to be over 400 feet tall. But
yeah.
if you take that 1,500 and change feet, even if you add, you know, 500 feet to that, you're still coming up over 1,000 feet in track length short of what we were kind of expecting. So
Do
that's what makes me
do we
really,
know for sure? So are we just saying it's a shuttle coaster because of the shape or because we've been told it's a shuttle coaster?
yes, because we don't know anything, right?
So yeah, so what if this? I'm going in my bag of tricks here and I'm thinking about historic coasters. Um when you had oh hell, the Togo coasters that were kind of built on top of each other. Even the Z forces to some extent were kind of like built on top of each other. And a modern day version is the Joker. That it's
Right.
kind of
Right. It
it
kind of does a switch back and forth. I would expect that those footers would be spread out though, and there is a significant stretch where they are single file.
so they're
So
single file.
yeah, and then there's one area where all of a sudden they get a little wider, and that's where I would expect the stall to be. The one thing that surprised me is that the whole thing is not in a straight line because it basically starts on Green Lantern's plot almost all the way by Twister. And when it hits the parking lot, it makes a slight turn and then it parallels Kingda Ka. So it's basically a parking lot coaster. Now, he did say on the construction tours that you will not have any parking lot underneath it. There, it looks like they've already ripped up all the blacktop to deal with
Yeah.
that. Uh, he he also said a couple of things because like I know that there's another model that it could be. He also said a couple of things that not during the Q&A that were reported back to us. So again, kind of take this with a grain of salt or maybe somebody's wishful thinking. He said that there are models like this, plural, that he's been on and that they're amazing. It'll be worth the wait. So there are two extreme spinners, Time Traveler and the Ride to Happiness. I know I like Time Traveler. I don't know if I would call it as amazing as King Ka. I know our friend Alex Baker says that the Ride to Happiness is like his favorite ride experience. Um, so like that is a cool possibility of having a big, like supersized extreme spinner here in New Jersey, but
But you said
like
the footers don't really line up with that.
it wouldn't line up with a full circuit like that, but
Exactly.
if you're
Yeah.
just taking the chassis concept and not the ride concept and saying that it's like that. The other thing that we were looking at is in Intamin's catalog, they have an absolutely insane, concept in their brochure of a roller coaster that's 900 feet tall, according to that
Yeah.
brochure. And now you're getting kind of closer to to the number that you're talking about, a 900 foot, and this would basically be like a supersized version of Superman,
Yes.
where it would be just a free fall, launch up, free fall down, and possibly with some sort of little stall or hill, there and back,
A launch up in a spinning car with a free
would be
fall
crazy.
down in a spinning
So,
car.
and the Tower Coaster had a cool little twist at the top, kind of like
Yeah.
what we saw with like Wicked Twister, the Drakenspear,
Does Intamin
kind
have a spinning coaster though?
they do have a spinning coaster, uh, but it's a much smaller scale,
Yeah.
but people say it's crazy that it spins like really fast, like it's a really crazy
Well,
thing.
and everyone always said that, and I wrote it, that the Green Lantern at Magic Mountains, it was a free spin. Not the Jokers are controlled spins. The Green Lantern at Magic Mountain that's now gone was a free spin, and if you watch any of
The
the
Zax,
TPR, that what?
they called it the Zax spin, yeah.
The Zach spin, yes. And if you watch any of the TPR videos, Rob Alvey says that there's one somewhere else that spins even crazier than the one at Magic, because the one at Magic Mountain was pretty intense. I didn't think it
Yeah.
was like crazy intense though, like more so than the Jokers. Like it was more than the Jokers, but not like, oh my God, I'm gonna die, like that kind of stuff. Like,
Yeah, we have heard from our intrepid European travelers like Danny and Alex that the one in, I think it's Belgium, does ride better.
yeah.
Um, I was told, and I don't know if this is true. Again, this is just what I was told, that the ones at Magic Mountain had a weight in the bottom so that they would kind of dampen themselves and wouldn't spin
Mm.
quite so crazy.
I just remember the one at Magic Mountain was a real, like, you like when you were going forward, if you didn't make the complete spin, it was a real, like, you slapped the chess piece. And I do remember the Batman at Fiesta Texas being like that too, because they didn't have ratcheting harnesses because that was the prototype. And those would slap on you too, because like if so they fixed a lot of the problems, hopefully. Anywho, um I'm just trying to think of like out of the box ideas that could work. But if you're talking 900 feet, like I thought the height record was done after what was it?
Yeah, I mean, and if you were going for
Falcon's
the height,
flight.
why wouldn't you go for like, 575 or something, something just like a little bit over, you
Just
know,
out of
I,
curiosity, like, would there be air traffic issues with 900 feet's a really tall building? And you're right, you're not at New York City, but you're right there. Would there be any air
so
traffic
it,
issues?
so you are allowed to build like skyscrapers up to 2,000 feet.
Okay.
Um, there's one or two like radio antennas in the Midwest that do go a little bit taller than that, and then
Uh-huh.
there's the Burj Dahlia because like they have a royal family, they don't have the same kind
Yeah,
of rules that we do. But
exactly.
pretty much everywhere else in the world, 2,000 feet is like the limit. Um, but yeah, I mean
So
that just seems
900, you're almost halfway there. Like
it seems a
to
little extra to me.
to build a structure that tall, that I don't know. Okay.
All right. So to come back to reality a little bit, because I think that's a pipe dream. I think the Mac
Yeah.
Tower coaster is probably where we're at.
I will
Um,
say 900 feet though. And see, like a 900-foot tall coaster, I don't think it's going to be like, I don't know if it would be a free fall. I would almost want an elevator lift to just take me up and drop me right off the side.
that would give you the length if you had to get there from because this is a ride that's going to start on the boardwalk. It's not going to be
Okay.
in the Golden Kingdom at all. It's going to be themed to the boardwalk, which is an area that they've pegged for refurbishment. So
Yeah.
like if it's a spinning thing, maybe we got like a cool like hurricane theme or something like that that they could do. I was super super afraid until the like just because I was like being pessimistic that they would make the world's largest surf coaster and call that a world record. I was like, oh my God, what if they combine these two together and make something worse?
Uh-huh.
Like, but it looks like we're clear on that one at least.
And at the end of the day, Kingda Ka was a gimmick ride. So it's not like I
Uh,
feel like you need like replacing it with another gimmick ride. Like even though people love Kingda Ka and loved everything about it, um, replacing it with another gimmick, whether it be a good the same gimmick, I don't think it will be, but I think we're going to do a different gimmick here.
I think that you say gimmick, I say landmark, whatever. But like
Yeah.
I think that this, one trick pony, if that or however you want to call it,
Yeah.
it makes sense. It's gonna sell tickets, it's gonna have the visual impact that Kingda Ka had, it's gonna check those boxes and help them be able to market this in a way that will get everybody exciting. I mean, if they do create the tallest coaster in the world again, isn't that going to get you to buy a plane ticket?
Me personally, no, probably not.
Oh, come on, fly out to Islip. I'll just drive you the rest of the way.
Actually, well, I could do that. I would buy a plane ticket to come visit you, but to be honest, I never rode King Ka, so I never had that like desire to be on the tallest ride. So it's not like
Missions.
now if it was 900 feet on an elevator lift and you take a 900-foot plunge, then I might be like, okay, I will freak out on the way up though on that elevator. But as we know, whatever I predict does not happen. So pretty much anything else is probably more true. But yeah, I do, even if I don't go out, I do think people would be like, okay, it's setting a height record, it's doing something different. Even if it doesn't set the height record, if you add in a spinning element to it or something like that, um, I
It's
do
going to be
think
a unique experience.
exactly. You're going to sell tickets. You're going to bring people back to the park. It's not like people, and like I said, it's not like people are going to Kingda Ka to ride, a fantastic top five roller coaster. That wasn't what Kingda Ka was. Very
Yeah,
few
it
people
was a,
had
it
it in their top five. That what? It
was a landmark.
was a landmark. It's a visual site. It was something to do. It was a great experience, but other rides are going to be better. So you just need to fill that hole somehow and maybe fill the other holes in the park you've left.
Yeah, yeah.
How that park struggles is beyond me. Like, wait,
Well, I'll put this out here. When they did get King Ka, they did it as part of a two-part investment, and we got King Ka and El Toro right after. You
well,
know, hopefully, since they're leaving this giant area totally empty, we're going to see something like that again, where we'll get another 1-2 punch, and we'll get significant investment because they've taken 7 rides out. Like they need lines for people to line up in. So doing something like that would definitely help or even if they just made that whole area a brand new flat area, just something.
yeah. And I'll be honest with you too. Like El Toro, as much as Danny rips it, El Toro and King Ka put that park on the map. Nobody was really talking like besides the locals and stuff. El Toro and King Ka put Great Adventure on the map. Um, and what they need now is maybe another gimmick ride, and they need a solid roller coaster, I think. Something that people talk about this is a top five ride. And I don't know what that is. I don't know what that looks like in the year
I
2025.
think for that part, they either put in a Giga coaster because it would be pretty unique for the
Oh, I
area at
think it
least.
has to be a Giga Coaster at some point. Yeah.
Yeah. Or something like Velocicoaster, like a Blitz coaster where they can market the fun of it. Like
Yeah.
Maverick. It's not the biggest, not the fastest, but it's
Yes.
fun. They need something like that's going to be a people pleaser.
Well, they need something that people are legitimately going to say, this is a top five roller coaster. And even El Toro, like people have stopped talking about El Toro.
Everybody talks about El Toro.
Okay. Well, I'll just,
You're in a bubble.
I'm in the bubble. I'm in the thrilling 32 bubble. So we'll see what happens. We'll keep our ear to the ground. We'll see what the rumors are saying and where the waves are blowing or waving. I don't know. Who knows? So as always, I am Andrew Barchak from Chicago, Illinois.
I'm Jeff Goodman on Long Island, New York.
Right on, right, Warriors.
Good night.